Hey guys, it's Max Convexity here. Thanks for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. Let's look at these Defiance funds for tomorrow and see how they did today. And then let's also look at the tracking error, the daily tracking error. Then I'll let you guys go. I know it's late. All right. Hopefully most of you guys will be watching this in the morning. Okay, so JEPY. They sold 228 contracts at the 49.15 level for $22. They got 24 yesterday and 22 the day before that, but they've been getting a lot of premium lately. Premium's really gone up. Volatility has popped. Okay, so they got $22.13. You subtract that from 49.15 or vice versa, you know what I mean? You end up getting 48.92.87. All right, so that's what we need on the SPX for tomorrow, at least, at a minimum, hopefully. So these guys are going for 504,000. They made 576 today, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities for them to get this. Of course, they lost $1.5 billion the day before, so it also wouldn't be in the realm of possibilities for that to happen again. All right. So this equals, so I switched the running total. So here's the new running total. If they earn, if tomorrow, if they make the money tomorrow and realize the profit, that'll be their total after tomorrow. Right now they're at 16 cents negative, but they'll be at 8 cents positive. All right, and we learned that the earnings per share doesn't mean a whole lot. Last month it was 46 and they paid out more than that. I'm still going to keep track of the earnings per share for people that want to make sure they reinvest enough money back into these funds to avoid any kind of NAV slippage. You can just look at the difference between what they made and what they paid and at least reinvest that much, and you should at least be capital flat. All right. I mean, to the extent that you can do it. So let's look here at SPX. All right, so there's the profit box. There's what we've been doing lately. Man, this one day was just a bad day. But today was good. Hopefully tomorrow will be 2 out of 3. I bet you tomorrow's a big up day. I bet you that SPX makes a new high. It's just a guess. I have no idea, but that's just my feeling. All right. Let's see what else we need to look at. Let's check out IWMY. These guys sold 507 contracts at the 1980 level. They received $17.17. So you subtract that from 1980, you get 1962. We'll call it 1963. So we're looking for 1963 at least. 1980 to be max profit, right? All right. This would be an $870,000 gain if they can realize it. They made $1 million today. That's awesome. Of course, they lost $1.8 million the day before. That is not so awesome. Here's the running total on cents per share. Tomorrow will take us out of the hole if we can realize it. Oh, also up here, yeah, you guys probably noticed this. This number right here is just the total of the extrinsic captured per share so far. There's only been 3 days left in the month. There's only been 3 business days out of the month. The estimate just extrapolates it to a month and takes 90%. Obviously, this isn't going to keep up. They're going to pay $1.85. They've just started off really hot. This Fed meeting caused vol to go up. Vol will go back down. Trust me. But when vol's up, they make more extrinsic. All right, so let's look over here at the, well, first, let's do this. Let's look at the Russell just on a charting basis and see what it looks like. Okay, same thing. Hellacious rally today. I'm not saying this one's going to be at all-time highs by tomorrow. But that other one, the SPX, has a fighting chance. It may not. It may totally turn around and run the other way. Who knows? I'm just saying it has a chance. I think it might do that. All right. But anyway, these funds don't care about that. They're just playing the averages. It doesn't really matter if it goes up or down. It just matters that you're in the fund long enough to realize enough occurrences to make your edge play out. I guess is how you could look at it. That's one way of looking at it. All right, so let's look at QQQY. These guys sold 155 contracts at the 17,390 level. They received 111 bucks. So that's easy. You take 111 from 17,390, you get 17,279, right? Okay, so that's, that's what we need. We need 17,279 at a minimum. And we'd rather have the strike price. That'd be the max profit. All right. This would be $1.7 million if they're able to realize it. You know, they got it today, 63 basis points. Running total, this would bring them to 11 cents positive. And just as a reminder, they only made 39 cents last month, and they paid out, you know, 85 cents. So, you know, I would recommend that people, or if you want to stay capital flat, you would need to at least consider reinvesting that much of the dividend into the fund. Probably that much every month, just to make sure if you're super conservative. Hopefully that still leaves a nice dividend over that you can spend as well too. I mean, what's the difference between 39 and 85? We'll say 46. How about 46? So, you know, they're giving you 85, but you have to put 46 of it back. I mean, I know it's no fun. I wish you could just have the 85 with no strings attached, but that's not the way these funds work, I don't guess. All right, let's check this out, though. So on the extrinsic, that would be 15 cents, and that would bring the estimate for the month to 94 cents, which isn't too far off 85, but that would, you know, this has been really high vol, so it'll be fun to see this number come down. And I would imagine at the end of the month, it converges with, close to the end of the month, it converges with what we'll actually get. We've just been on a hot streak here. All right, let's look at NDX real quick. All right, there's NDX. So, you know, this chart's still pretty ugly. I mean, looks like a head and shoulders top. I mean, there's all kinds of negative things you could say, too. I just think for some reason we have another day or two of up movement in us. We shall see. All right, let's go look at the tracking error. See how our individual ones are doing. All right, I have two tracking errors. I have a longer term tracking error now that I follow and a shorter term one, but the shorter term one's fun to look at. All right, so here in the S&P high yield complex, JEPY, big winner of the day, catching all that upside, lots of upside, probably about 80%. That's just a 20% buffer, which is good. You don't want a lot of buffer on the upside, like I always say. Unfortunately, JEPY has a lot of buffer because it uses daily options. Good on the downside, bad on the upside, or it holds you back on the upside. But the trade-off for that is on days when the market goes nowhere, the daily options clean up. They way outperform all the other strategies. But on big up days like today, you can bet that either JP Morgan or iSpy. iSpy is a really good one too that catches a lot of upside. The more I see on this one, the more I'm liking it. They announced their dividend today. It was 48.5 cents, I believe, or maybe 49. I've been looking at numbers all day, but in any event, when you have a fund that's priced at 40 and then pays that for a dividend, it's a little better than 12%. Anyway, nice job. So SPY is priced at $49. So they also paid about a 49-cent dividend, and that works out exactly to 12 cents. Actually, iSpy is working out. I didn't know iSpy was trading at $40. That works out a little better than 12%. I need to reevaluate that. I'm going to make a follow-up video on iSpy. Forget what I said about iSpy. All right, let's go over here and look at the triple Qs. Oh, we have a new little brother here, QQQY. Speaking of funds that trade at 50 bucks, I mean, this fund has some. I'm doing a video on it right now. I'm writing the script, and it has a lot of cool features that I like. It's very similar to SPY and to iSpy for that matter. They're very similar, but anyway, it has a lot of good features I think people like. So the best performer of the day was the triple QYs. Now, for some reason, these guys did catch a lot of upside. Generally, on a big up day, the JEPQ beats them, but not today. Not every day. QYLD was the laggard. And then on these funds, they both did all right. I mean, IWMY caught a little bit more than RYLD, and that's not the typical. Usually RYLD has less buffer, so that does better on up days, but not today. All right, let's go over here and look at the single stocks. All right, I just gave them, I hate to give them losers. Whenever you're doing well, you're up 1.4. Well, OARC is actually a big outperformer because it outperformed this underline, and so did Tesla. A lot of them did well today, and so did NVIDIA, and so did Coney. Okay, but AMC, I don't want to make it yellow or red. I mean, yes, it underperformed a little bit. It has, 27% buffer factor, but heck, it's up 2%. We'll take it. Same deal. This one's up, 0.6%. Has a lot of buffer. Aptly had a lot of buffer today, but that means it's good and safe. And this is just one day. AMD outperformed its underlying. Big day for the single stocks. Great day here. Yield Max and Curve. TSLP had a fine day. MRNY had a fine day. Outperformed its underlying, which we would totally expect on the downside. On the upside, they underperform. These funds underperform on the upside, but on the downside, they usually outperform. So by the same amount, whatever their buffer is on the upside, they'll underperform by the same amount that they'll underperform on the upside. They'll outperform on the downside by the same amount they underperform on the upside. All right, so in average, when you take enough occurrences, not on a day-to-day basis. So MSFO did a great job. PYPY did a great job. FBY lagging a little bit, DISO, it's fine. Infly's been on fire. But not today so much, but Sky looks really nice. Catching a lot of that upside. GUI, catching about half that upside. XOMO, outperformed the underlying. Or actually underperformed the underlying because it was on the down move. That's not typical, and that's why he got a yellow mark. That's probably the worst one on the board, or it's the one where they underperformed, in a bad way. You underperformed where they weren't supposed to. Sky is supposed to underperform. When the parent's up 2.5, that's fine if the high yield fund's up 2.2. That's the way it's designed. But you don't want to see what happened to XOMO happen too often. All right, Goop. Goop, very typical, got about half the upside. MSFY got about 2/3 of the upside. Good job, guys. All right, let's go over here to stock index futures and see where we're trading right now. Oh my gosh, look at this. The NASDAQ's blowing up. It's up another point from after hours. Golly. S&P's up 0.5 point. Russell's up 0.8 of a point. All right, let's go over here to my longer term tracking error. And this is still a work in progress. But you could see on this chart, this is a, I believe it's 15 days. I mislabeled it. It says SPX20. But this is, however, the high yield fund has done in the past 15 days. So on this day, whatever this day was back, a week ago or something, ISPY was up 6.04% from 15 days ago. So ISPY's been killing it. Just been catching upside out the wazoo. In fact, they've been catching so much upside, I need to go back and check the numbers. I don't even think that's right. I think they should be more like here, but I don't know. They do use a strategy that allows them to catch a lot of upside. So anyway, nice job, ISPY. Nice job. All right, I will check those numbers. The other ones perform more typical. Here's SPX in the dark blue. You can see it's up the most, and that's what you'd expect, the parent asset to be up the most, especially on the upside, because selling options is a drag on the upside. The buffer costs you on the upside. So 4.2% that day. We had Bally up 3.9, JEPY or JEPY up 2.7. Very typical results. SPY, and then JEPY down here. I'm just trying to follow these over time, and I'm hoping as the charts get longer, we can see more longer-term trends. To tell you the honest truth, I spent all weekend doing these, and it's not too helpful. The 5-day, this is the 5-day rate of change, or 5-day change, and I don't know. I'm going to keep with it, but and I like it and stuff. I'm probably quit doing the daily. The daily really doesn't tell you much, and we see the daily over here on this sheet anyway. We talk about the daily every day. So I think I would make this go down to where they're all 15-day changes, like that one. Here's NVIDIA on a 15-day basis. Well, something's wrong with that data. I guarantee you that's not right. It looks cool, though. It looks really cool. Here's 15-day Amazon. Okay, Amazon, AMZP, and AMZY. The way I usually do it is the benchmark's always blue, blue for benchmark, and then yellow for yield fund. And so this one down here is AMZY. And then the middle one is AMZP. At least that's the way I designed it. Like I said, I worked late on these, and some of them got messed up. I need to go through and make sure that the data is correct. I was hesitant to even show this to you. All right, so here's some of them turn out better. So watch this. Somehow I started doing something different when I got to the end of what I was doing, and made the legend so it's unambiguous. I'll go back and fix the other ones before I show it to you where they have the legend, so we don't have to wonder about them. But here's a great 5-day Google change. Of course, Google's been doing great lately. The yield funds have been doing great too. You can see the amount of buffer they have visually. You can see on a down day. See what I told you? On a down day, the buffer helps you out. We would expect that, and we would expect on an up day the highs in the yield fund to be higher. And 15-day, let's see what this tells us. Yeah, when you go over a long enough time frame, usually the parent asset is always leading. Yeah, I think something's wrong with that data. Which one is this? My goodness. Well, I was just learning how to do it. Some of these are messed up back here. All right, I'll work on that, guys. I appreciate you guys for looking. Let's take one more look in at futures. NASDAQ up 0.9%. I mean, it's just murdering it. We'll see how they open. I'm going to come on about 8:30 when they open. The NASDAQ won't be open yet, but we can look at the futures. But we'll see where SPX is trading in relation to its profit box and also RUT. And let's keep our fingers crossed for a big up day tomorrow and try to undo this damage from yesterday. It was definitely a bad day. I hate to see it. All right, guys. You have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for tuning in.